How we doing, folks? So back again for yet another update on the Reefer 250. So we're 4.5 months in now, so it's the 4.5 month update on the system. All going well. So what I do is I kick off with going in on each coral as I usually do, just to show you the growth from the last time. So first one kicking off is the green Hystrix Ceratopora. All doing fine. There's been lots of changes since my last update, actually, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. I've sort of started to change my water parameters a little bit. As I mentioned in my last video, I was some suspicions that the system's running too clean, but I shall go into that soon. But this is doing fine. It's slowed down a little bit on growth, but still growing. Just starting to fork again at the top. But yeah, the rapid growth it had when it first went in has definitely slowed, but it's all doing fine. The other Hystrix, the pink Hystrix, now this I was having problems with. If you can see, hopefully I'll check on my last video to see what sort of growth we've got. Growth is definitely slowed down on it, and what I have noticed, blue chromes gets out of the way, is down the base it started to go white, like it was bleaching out from the base upwards. I've done a little bit of research into this, and I think I know what it is. It's just a trick with getting the chemistry just right, because unless things are just right, you really notice any effects with stuff. But yeah, you can see the white down the base. I think it's because there's not a great deal of light getting on down there. But what I also think it is, because I'm running my, well, I was running my parameters, really high alkalinity, really high calcium. I think it's what I researched into is what they call alkalinity burn, where the alkalinity is so high it starts to sort of strip the flesh. I'm also getting a bit of brown on it, which would indicate too much nutrients, but you know, I can't yet decide whether it is running too low nutrients or not, which I'll go into in a minute. But it still looks fine. It's growing, so say it's like slowed right down with the growth, but it's all looking fine apart from the base. I'm hoping this will polyp up and go pink again down the base, but we'll see. But it's still doing okay. The other ones are obviously my purple Stylophora, as always, doing really well. On the left side's really ready to branch off 2 ways on that side. And the other one, the Montipora Elkhorn, this is the fastest growing in here. It's every day, it's just, I notice it's really growing. That back piece is really fanning out. Get a clip from this other side. On this side, but I get loads of growth on this in a week, so a good 3 or 4 mil a week. And the other Montipora, the plating Montipora, it's doing really well and it's growing. Try and zoom in a little bit more on that. And the Acropora, the barley slimer, that's doing really well. See that right hand side really recolonising the dead side. And at the base there, I think that's going to be another branch coming out of there, just starting. I think that one in the middle is going to split into two maybe, because the sort of turret is sort of going a little bit more elongated. Let's get another clip around this side. As you can see, it's really going onto the other side. So all fine with that. What else we got? The long GSP is always doing great, really spreading that now over the top. And the other colony of it at the back, that's really spreading as well. And the emerald green star polyps here, doing really well. Slow but steady growth on that. Just quickly cover fish stock. Fish stock all doing fine as always. Clowns up to the weird behaviour. As always, he's got another notification, and I'm not going to touch it because it means I have to start a whole new video. Yeah, the lemon peel mimic tang in really good health and growing nicely. Still got 8 blue chromis. They're all doing fine. Growing well. Zoom in these clouds again. Yeah, so fish stock all tickety boo. The shrimp shed his skin a couple of days ago. 6-line rust just going through there. There's the algae blenny. Not sure where he's gone. But yeah, so I've got lots to cover. Things I've changed and things have been happening with it, and obviously all the questions you guys have put on the last video, which I'll answer in a minute. So going into the water parameters, like I said in my last video, I think I was running the system too clean, 0 nitrates, 0 phosphates. There's the algae blenny. He's doing great, growing really well. Yeah, sorry, back to water parameters. 0 nitrates, 0 phosphates. So my suspicions are that the system's running too clean. So what I was going to do is just sort of back off with my religious maintenance on the system, because I think it was going a little bit over the top with it. Sort of back off with hoovering the sand, back off and miss a few of my weekly water changes, just to try and get a better nitrate in the system. But as someone mentioned, because there's quite a lot of macroalgae in here, it might be hiding the fact that there is a bit of a trace of both nitrate and phosphate. So I think, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, say as they're growing, they're using them up, but you know, I do test a lot for nitrate and phosphate, and I never get any reading of it. So whatever reading there is, or trace of it there is in the system, it disappears so quick, so I'm not getting a reading. So it is really low. But I think it's wise to say that I'm probably going to just keep my maintenance routine the same. 10% water change every week, Make sure the sand and rocks are blown off the turkey baster as much as possible. Religious cleaning of the skimmer cup a couple of times a week, and change the filter socks out twice a week. So I'm going to keep everything the same. But what I have decided to do is change my parameters. I was running the system at alkalinity really high, 12.5. If you go into aquatic log and tap in search Sea REEFER and look at my water parameters, running really high alkalinity, really high calcium and magnesium. So yeah, alkalinity 12.6, calcium between 450 and 480, magnesium around 1400, 1420. Salinity is at 35 parts per thousand, which is about 1.026. Temperature 26 degrees. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak that. I'm going to drop my alkalinity down to 9. Hopefully that might sort out this alk burn problem with this Hystrix. But you know, you've got to try things and see. I'm going to drop the alkalinity, see if that helps it out. You've got to leave it a couple of 3 weeks to see if whatever you change has an effect. That's the problem. Things with the reef tank, sometimes it happens real slowly and you have to be patient. Unfortunately, anything bad that's going to happen with the system happens very quick. So yeah, drop the alkalinity. I'm going to drop off with the calcium as well. Run that between 420 and 440. And keep magnesium about the same, about 1400, maybe 1350, 1400, just to see if that'll make any difference. What I'm hoping though is I don't get any slowdown in growth, but we'll soon see into the new year. Once I'm in the middle of, I'm nearly there with, if you look on aquatic log, with dropping my alkalinity and calcium down a little bit. So once they're at 9 and at about 440, 450. I'm going to just leave it a few weeks and see if we get any reduction of growth on anything. I'm hoping not. So coralline algae is not growing as much as I thought neither. So again, dropping them two off might help. We'll see. So moving on to problems in the tank, the macroalgae, the cotton candy, the pink cotton candy, look, it is increasing by the week. It's just populating everywhere now. I don't think it's going to annoy any corals or anything. I just don't want a whole tank completely smothered in it. So yeah, in January I'm going to get a couple of, maybe 3 or 4 actually, in the Mexican turbo snails to clean that lot up, and hopefully they'll attack some of the red algae as well, the red macroalgae, which to be honest is not really a problem. It's very, very slow growing. It's mainly this pink cotton candy. Look, it's popping up everywhere. Here, there and everywhere. The bubble algae, there's not much of it in here really. Yesterday I did take a few of the balls out, but I've just got to take this little bit out here and this bit here, which is a bit hard to get actually because it's right wedged in a crevice or a rock. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. My cyanobacteria that I did have at the back here did come back a little bit. Yesterday I got rid of it, brushed it off with a toothbrush, and there was a bit down here, right in the centre here, which I've brushed away, and doesn't seem to have come back in like a week or so. So hopefully that will be the cyanobacteria problem sorted. Well, not a problem, it's just a bit of a patch of it coming up in a couple of places, but you know, that's quite common, and you'd expect that at some point during a tank's life to have a bit of cyano. It could be because of I say the system's running low nutrients, but it could be a little bit of excess nutrients in the water. Don't know, but we'll see. Okay, so down in the sump, everything's going okay down there. Just going to move on to the questions in a minute. This skimmer was emptied yesterday. Yesterday? No, Tuesday. So it's 2 days worth of skim. Really nice skim, that. Thick foam. Nice dark collection. I'm running it on literally full power now. The pump's on full power, as you see on the controller. And I've got the water level in it. Just about level with the top of the main cylinder there. Seems to be working really well. Everything else all tickety-boo underneath here. And the other thing as well, I just backed off with my return pump as well, so I can get a little bit more contact time down here in the sumps. I've just backed the pump off to probably a couple of thousand litres an hour, because it was running on full power. I know it's a 4,000 litres an hour return pump, but by the time it's gone all the way up and pumped into the tank, it's probably more like 3,000. So I've backed it off now, and it's probably like 2,000, just to get a little bit more contact time in the sump for the skimmer to pull out literally everything in the sump before it just bypasses and goes back in again. So it gets it a little bit more efficient, especially with upping the power to full. Apologies for this notification keeps going off. This the bottle opener keeps clicking. That's just a notification on my phone, text message or whatever. I'm not going to stop the video though. Let's just have a look, see if I can have a look. No, I'm not going to mess around with that. Okay. Shut these up. Right, so let's just turn my computer on and answer some questions. What I'm going to do is, just as I'm reading through the questions, there's quite a lot on there, pause the video in between each question so I can have a good read of each one and reply to each of your messages. Yeah, so I'm just going to pause it now and have a look. Okay, right, thanks everyone for your questions and your comments. Thanks everybody for viewing the videos and subscribing and clicking the like button. If you're new to this channel, please click the subscribe. I'm nearly on 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Never thought we'd get that high in just such a short term, short period of time. So the tank's only 4.5 months in, and I think we've got about 850 plus subscribers. So hopefully by the new year we'll crack the 1,000 mark. So yeah, definitely hit the subscribe. I say I'll do updates every week, try and do it every week, if not every couple of weeks, and give us best advice I can, really, with the experience I've had and what experience am I having with the this system. Apologies about the glare from the window there. Okay, so let's go through some questions. Steve Keane, he's got a reefer as well. It's 2 weeks old and have a lot of tiny particles floating around. Not sure if they're dirt or tiny air bubbles, and seem to have a build-up of brown looking sand at the bottom of the sump. Any ideas? Okay, Steve, so you're only 2 weeks in on your reefer. I had the same thing. You will get lots of different particles floating around the system. They will go. I do have them in the video. You probably won't notice that much, but I try and zoom in on the water column there. If you can see, there is particles in the column. Not loads. It gets better with time. The first couple of months I had so many bits and bobs floating around. And I tell you what it is, most of it comes from your sand, because you might rinse your sand before you put it in and you think you've done it enough, but there's still loads of bitty bits that come out your sand. And as time goes on, you're changing your filter socks, you know, your sand just gets cleaner and cleaner. Just make sure you do blow through your sand and siphon your sand as much as you can, and blow your rocks off. And eventually, after you get to this sort of stage, 4 months, you know, it should disappear. Air bubble wise, you will get a few air bubbles, it's just normal. You know, especially if you're running a big skimmer, the skimmer gives off, what happens is the air bubbles, as you can see there, they do come down into the outlet. And although you've got the bubble trap sponge, which gets rid of most of them, some do get through. So I wouldn't worry about it. It will get better with time on that. Okay, just pause the video again. Okay, so this is for channel YYY. Hello mate, interested in seeing my light schedule, as it seems to be working very well. I think, I can't remember, there's so many people following this channel, and I get confused of who's who in the end. I think you've got a reefer, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think you've got Kessel LEDs, same as this. Okay, so my lighting schedule is, let's just sort of way focus again. I'm not sure if you've got a controller or not. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, then you're going to be twiddling these knobs on top throughout the whole day, which is a right pain in the arse. You know, I can't imagine having to do that or running these LEDs without this controller. So if you haven't got one of these controllers, to save that £100 up is the best thing you can get to complete your lighting system. Yeah, these are the Kessel A160 WEs. My lighting schedule basically comes on about 10 AM in the morning on about 5% colour, which is really blue, and 5% intensity. So you get like a moonlight phase, which just sort of wakes the system up. The fish sort of acknowledge the fact it's at the start of the day, and they ramp up in colour and intensity about 2 o'clock. They're on, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're on full power. And when I say full power, I mean 100% on both, 100% colour, 100% intensity. Don't run it on 100% colour all day long. Once you hit 100%, then back off, because at 100% I think it's 10k, it's the 10k temperature, which I've sort of experimented and found that the best growth and the best look in the tank when you're viewing it is around a 14k, which is about 60-70% on the intensity, on the colour. And I keep the intensity on 100% all day till about 9 o'clock. I think this is set for 9 o'clock in the evening. So it gets about 9 hours of full intensity light. And then they just slowly ramp down to about midnight to 5% and 5% again. So I hope that helps. The best thing to do, I don't know, that's how I'm running mine. You might find another way of setting the lights so you get a better growth for your system. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what you use in the end and what sort of results you get, and I'll keep you posted with mine if I change them at all. I have changed them loads over time, but I think they're going well at the moment. We're getting growth, so I hope that helps you, mate. Just push pause again, have a look at the next question. Okay, Alfie Jasper, when adding fish to your tank, do you quarantine them? Alfie, I don't. I never have done. In an ideal world, we'd have another. We'd all have a separate quarantine tank set up somewhere. I didn't want to have to do that. It's just something else I've got to worry about. I wouldn't really know where to put it in the house. The wife will probably moan as well. So it's the chance you take. The most important thing with quarantining is to is to make sure there's no fish disease when you're introducing to the main display, as you can cause yourself a whole host of headaches if you put one fish in there with a disease. It can spread through the whole tank. But basically, I'll cover this real quickly. But yeah, I've never quarantined any of the fish that gone in. I've always made sure that the stock that I'm purchasing has been at the store for some time. It's all feeding well. I watch it feed before I purchase as well. Always make sure that I know what their salinity is, because that's the main problem when you're transferring fish, is the salinity changes. They don't like going from a lowish salinity, which most local fish shops run for fish only systems, into your reef tank, which is running a high salinity. I can't remember what it does, but it really weakens their immune system. Even if you're acclimatising, which I do, the best to do is acclimatise them over at least half an hour for that. But yeah, if you've got a space to do a quarantine system, do that. Run it at a lower salinity, sort of 2.1, 2.2, and then slowly bring it up to your system, your reef's salinity, whatever that might be, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, and then make sure they've got no disease, no white spot, and white spot's the main one, and then obviously transfer them over. But no, I haven't done them. I've just been lucky. It's the rescue run, but yeah, they're all doing fine. There's no disease in here, luckily. Okay, so next question. This is for Alfred Young. For your carbon, you might need more flow. I put a bag inside my filter sock, and it saves space too. Alfred, thanks for your advice, but to be honest, mate, I'll be frank, that is a big no-no, really. And I'll tell you why. I could easily, and it would be great, it saves space and nice and easy, you get lots of flow through. If you just plonked a nice bag of carbon in one of these filter socks, job done. But you'd think so anyway. But if you think about it, all the water coming down into this sump hits these filter socks, has bits of detritus, muck and organics all in it, and your carbon's going to get, if I did do that, it's going to get clogged very, very quickly. Any water going through carbon, activated carbon, should be as clean and as skimmed as possible before it goes through, because the little carbon pellets have got so many different arteries inside them, are so porous that they'd soon get clogged, and effectively within a day or two, if it's in the filter socks, would really hinder its ability to clean the water. So I wouldn't advise doing that at all. Thanks for the advice. I think where I've got it is fine. It's the water is crystal clear, so I think that's going to work out okay. Special pause again, have another look. Okay, so for Brody, you've got a REEFER 250. How many drips per second have you got coming out the valve that attaches to the RO tank? It says in the instruction to set it at a rate of 1 drop per second, then attach the pipe. I don't think that's enough. Just wondered what yours is set at. I've had this question a few times before. To be honest, I haven't read any instructions for this REEFER. Like anything, I just work it out myself. Didn't know that there was that rule of 1 drop per second thing. I've just literally, I think my only advice for this is literally that little valve, you know where it is, it's just behind this reactor here. That tap, just open it right up so that water starts coming out the top of it near the valve top, literally here, and then close it back down again so water no longer comes out of it, and that should be enough. I'll try, and it's been so reliable, this system, I've not had to play with it at all. There's the float valve. What I'll do is I'll zoom in so you can see quickly how much it drops by. The water level's too high, I'm afraid. No, it just, I never have to mess about with it at all. I think my suspicions are with your problem you have is just open that little tap a little bit more. Make sure that this tank's, you know, got enough water in it as well, because once it starts getting sort of lowish, you know, the weight of it slows down a little bit, but just make sure it's topped up every few days and you should be fine. Okay, so next question, pause again. Okay, Black Knight, question about the Waveline 4000 pump. I've set the pump. Oh, you've got one, right? Okay. So concerns about the green hose very tight. Can't remember really having problems with the hose fitting on it. I don't know if you've got the wrong hose size, but that's the size of my hose. You will probably have to. Yeah, actually, I do remember. Little tip is when you're fitting the hoses to these connections, place the hose in some warm water, or boil the kettle, let it cool down, and place it in there for like 5-10 seconds or so, maybe 30 seconds tops or 2, so it goes really soft, and then push it on, and as it cools down it shrinks onto the actual connection. So yeah, I hope that helps you, mate, really. Okay, next question. Okay, Steve Dyers. Hi Steve, did check your channel out and your tank. Your tank looks really good, really good. Say any problems you come across, obviously don't hesitate to give us a shout. I'll try and help you out. I can't remember now, this is quite a few days ago I watched your video. But yeah, everything seems to be fine with your tank. I would just keep an eye. It's all about, with these reef tanks, we're not really keeping livestock, so we're keeping water. As long as you keep your water parameters right and stable, everything should be fine. You know, please mention in your next update what your parameters are. What, you know, the 3 main ones: your alkalinity, your calcium and your magnesium. What are your nitrates? What are your phosphates? Always mention that, so we can see what's going on with that, what your salinity is, what your temperature is. But yeah, your tank looks great, the lighting looks really good. Careful with your coral placement. Say you got quite a bit of LPS in there from what I can remember, and the black marks on your clownfish is from they've been stung by, they've tried to host one of your torch corals or something, and they've been stung by it, so I won't worry about the black marks. They'll disappear over the next few months, no doubt. I've had that before. Yeah, so water parameters, keep your alkalinity, you know, around 9, your calcium between sort of 420 and 450, magnesium 1300 to 1400. Try and get a nitrate as 0 as you can, phosphates at 0, run your salt at about 35 parts per thousand, which is 1.026, temperature about 25-26 degrees C. Keep up your water changes. I know I think you mentioned you didn't like doing your water changes, so that's a must. Keep up with that, at least 10% a week.